Spider-Man on the drop list? Would he run out of web fluid? Stay tuned to find out. Take more. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains! If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this Princess Aurora Harris doing the Princess Wave. You should do it too. Bow down, respect, of course. Stay humble.
Oh, and sit down?
Sit down.
That's what I do.
We're sitting down.
Coco's down here somewhere. She's hiding out. All right, guys, so we're back on this beautiful Monday with you guys, and we have a brand new drop list for you. And this week's special because it turned out to be all Spider-Man books. So for some reason, December of last year in 2021, Spider-Man was popping. And this
now
year,
it's dropping.
Which is kind of surprising. And a lot of these have to do with Into the Spider-Verse 2 spec. So that movie hadn't even come out, hasn't even happened yet. So a lot of these might be a good idea to pick up. I know some of these I'm going to be shooting for after this video. Mm-hmm. But before we get into that, you know what Zach's shooting for?
I'm shooting for getting those gains. Got 35 grams of protein. I think it's called Owen Elite Pro. Protein drink, all plant-based, zero sugar, and it has no nut butter, whatever that means. No nut December.
I like nut butter.
I'll look that up. I hate these things.
That means it's fresh.
I hate these little things.
So fresh and so clean. Wait.
Crap.
Oh, no.
Where do I put?
Oh, no.
Okay, that's good. I think they want you to shake it.
You're a really good shaker.
Good. Shake it up. It's bad.
Good? It's bad? Oh. Not good? What was the flavor? Chocolate, no nut?
I guess.
No nut chocolate?
It tastes like charcoal. And no whatever given.
Okay. All right. Let's get let's move on past this disgusting protein shake.
Man.
All right, guys. So, like we said, a lot of Into the Spider-Verse spec. So let's kick it off. We have Spider-Man issue number 12, volume 2 from 2017. And this is actually a book that was done by Sarah Pichelli and Brian Michael Bendis. So the actual original team working on the original Ultimate Spider-Man comic book. So pretty cool. So this I think actually they call this like the second volume because it's actually Spider-Man, you know, like the Peter Parker one, the McFarlane one. So this one actually goes on after that one. But it's actually the third ongoing series for Miles. And it's basically just an awesome cover overall. It's just Sarah Pichelli did a really great job on this one. It's upside down kissing. It's kind of that Tobey Maguire homage to the Spider-Man movie, the original one where they do the kiss upside down. I don't know, did they ever do that in any of the old comics? I don't know. If you guys remember, leave a comment down below. I don't know if they came up with that for the movie. Now they're going off of that. But people, I think, are hoping that this kind of like one of those things that could take place Into the Spider-Verse 2, and I think that's why it was getting a little bit of respect. Besides, I think this is going to always have like a special place in everybody's heart for Miles. You know, it's just kind of one of those books that's going to be awesome for a long time. For some weird reason, they made a bunch of ratios for this book as well, which is kind of strange. For a book that, you know, doesn't have any significance to it other than that. But there's a really great 1 in 25 by Isanova, which is over $400 for that one. Then there's only regular 1 in 25 by McLeod that's about $35. And don't forget, there's a variant by Marquez. There's actually like hard to find one because the retailers had to order a certain amount of copies of issue 9 in order to qualify for that one. So that one has a little bit of value as well, but it doesn't really have like the great cover that this one has. So cool book. I don't know, Zach, how far has this book fallen, and is it a good time to pick it up? Is it a great time to live?
Right. So prices a year ago was for a 9.8, $350. Pretty high.
Wow, for modern book.
Yeah,
really
for a
high.
modern book with
really
no
high.
big key significance, just cover. It's pretty high. Now, $139 for 9.8. Range is $122.50 to $391.25. Average is $245.88. It's a classic cover. Artwork's great. It has two popular characters. Going to stay relevant for a long time. I mean, I could think of worse ways to spend $139. It's going to go back up. It's going to eventually go back up to the $350 mark. So you're going to gain on it. It just might take a while. That's my opinion. Yeah. It's a pretty decent book.
A lot of the books from this run are really low print run too. For some reason, they didn't print a lot of the books from this. So let's go all the way across the water and check on our good friend Spider-Man India. And that's who's coming up next on the list is Spider-Man India #1 from 2005. And these names are going to be really hard, but I'm going to give it a try. This was done by Suresh Sirathaman and Javon Kane, the creative group on this. Okay, so this is first appearance of Paviter Prabhakar, who's the Spider-Man India version from India, obviously. But this book got really hot in December of 2021. There was rumors about him being in the Spider-Verse 2, which I think is pretty much going to be a guarantee at this point. I think everyone's pretty sure he's going to show up in the movie. But just a great book. I know for a while this book was really expensive. I think a 9.8 was like almost $1,000 or even higher than that. Zach will probably give you the update on that. But don't forget that this is actually a reprint of an international version done by Gotham Comics. And that one's actually about $200 or more it sells for. And they're kind of hard to find. And sometimes they get listed on eBay and they go for quite a bit cheaper than what people think, because they think it's like, well, it is an actual international comic, but it's his true first appearance. And it's only a 4-issue run. It's pretty limited series. So still a great book. I can tell you from looking at the issue we have, the cover's kind of made out of this like that thicker paper that when it gets the spine ticks, it shows up like quite a bit. So it's got to be a really hard book to get in a high grade, because you can't really press out the spine ticks with that harder cover. But how far has Spider-Man India dropped?
So prices a year ago for 9.8 was $750. Pretty good. Now it's about $299.95. Range $299.95 to $750, just swapping. Average is 510, 36. I mean, it's dropped in half. It's a decent Spider-Man key. It's probably going to be one of the characters in the Edge of Spider-Verse movie or whatever.
Yeah. What's Spider-Verse 2?
Spider-Verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
I would think it'd be an interesting character to add in to make the movie even more amazing, diversified, action-packed. I mean, they're going to be adding in, 200 and something characters or more?
Yeah, there's something like, they show that like, I think Spider-Man 2099 and Miles actually like meet up in India. Like there's like a little like leak that got out where they're actually like meeting together there. So like, why would they meet there if they're not going to run into somebody else? Plus he's been kind of like a little bit of a side character in the current Spider-Verse run that's going on right now, or just finished up-ish.
I mean, I would try to go after his real big first appearance, but this is the first appearance, the American appearance, really.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're going to go wrong either way. I think this is a buy, only if you really like the character, though. I mean, you're going to be able to flip it for more, but $299.95 is kind of, I don't know, it's a little high for this book, I think. But it could be a very popular character, so I don't know.
Never know. Once they hit the screen, do they blow up?
Take your shot.
Speaking of blowing up, let's see, we got some Marvel Team Up number 65. So we're going a little bit older here, from 1978. We got some John Byrne, Chris Claremont goodness on this book. But this is the first appearance of Captain Britain in U.S. comic. It's kind of weird, just like Spider-Man India was as well. But it's also the first cameo of Arcade, who is in charge of Murder World. We're all a big fan of Murder World. And basically, there's a lot of things going on with Captain Britain. You got the name Braddock was mentioned in Endgame by Peggy Carter, so it's kind of like that thing going on. We're like, maybe he's going to show up sometime. And then Henry Cavill showed a lot of interest in wanting to play Captain Britain. He's also British as well, so that kind of works out well. Kind of like the British Captain America, but there's a lot of good stuff going on with this book as well. You also want to be on the lookout. There is a Mark Jeweler variant for this one. As you know, the Gaines group is always on the lookout for the Mark Jeweler. And there's also the original first appearance, which is a kind of like a British comic, but it's made by Marvel, is Captain Britain #1 from 1976. And that's like the first real appearance. It's kind of like in a different format, though, almost like a newspaper style-ish sort of book. And it does come with a weird mask as well.
Yes. So make sure if you buy it has the mask. If it doesn't, it's not the same value.
Yeah, and it's, for some reason, I always felt like that book was way unattainable, but it seems quite a bit affordable lately too, so it might not be a bad one. I don't know why. Captain Britain has become recently more affordable, and Zach will give you the update on that.
Yeah, first appearance of Betty Braddock, I think, is worth more than Captain Britain, and I think that's in issue 8, 7 or 8. One of the two.
Another one to look out for.
It's on my list right now, and that also, I think that also has an insert.
She's getting a new solo book coming out too. Well, but it's Betty Braddock as the character from Britain.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
the book's gonna be called Betty Braddock.
Big Booty Braddock Psylocke.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. So, interesting enough, 9/8 are not posted very much on eBay or other places, so it's kind of hard to get good data on that. Everywhere else is dropping. 9/8 is like when it sells randomly. Price is all over the place. 9/6 very constant though. So price for a 9/6 a year ago was $475. Now it's $241.51. Range it's vice versa. $241, but it's all the way up to a little bit of $20 more, $499. Average is average $300. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. I'd rather go after the British version of it because it's a true first appearance. But this one or that one is going to be fine. You get a Spider-Man, Captain Britain versus kind of issue, so it's not a bad idea at all to get that.
Yeah.
Book.
I don't know if Marvel Team Up really got the respect it deserved until recently, and that might be why a lot of people didn't take care of their Marvel Team, because I don't find them in very high grade very often.
No.
You get a lot of all the stuff from that run kind of. It's like people are like, yeah, there's the Team Up, just throw that in the back. Now they're like, oh, that was kind of expensive now. Maybe I should take a better care of that. You know how that goes.
Oops.
Now, we're going to jump all the way to 90s goodness. And we got Amazing Spider-Man 365. I bet everyone has seen this book a million times because I think there's a million copies of it. But it's a cool book from 1992. John Romita Sr. doing the hologram cover. Written by David Michelini, who's the original writer for Venom as well, which is pretty cool. But this book has always been cool, overprinted, but it's recently got hot because everyone kind of respects Spider-Man 2099 as such a cool character, Miguel O'Hara, and this is a preview of that character. So this one kind of gives it that next level goodness over the other three 30th anniversaries. That was because of the 1962 to 1992 was that 30-year anniversary for this book. And just a cool one. I think all three, the other ones are cool. This is the only one that has some good value to it. You'll always want to be on the lookout for the newsstand versions of these books as well. This one, the ASM 365 garnishes like almost $1,000 for the newsstand and the 9/8, which is crazy. Probably because of the hologram cover, they're really hard to press.
And it's homage. It's homage of Amazing Fantasy 15.
Yeah,
too.
that as well, which is
people forget that.
Just a really cool book. Yeah, just a really cool book overall. It just, and exciting. And obviously it got hot because a year ago with, they posted on Twitter on a picture of Spider-Man 2099 in December of 2001. So that was kind of for Into the Spider-Verse 2. That's kind of why this book was taking another huge jump. It kind of goes up and down, but it stays constant at somewhere around $20, $25 raw. Okay. So, but Zach will give you the update on the graded version, though, because that is a whole different story.
So this is kind of weird, and you're gonna see why. Prices a year ago was $299.99. Prices now $175. There has been a sale for 9/8 as low as $31. Oops, and as high as $900. Ouch. Average sales 308.01. I would say this is a for sure buy. I mean, you're going to make money on this. It's absolutely. I would try to hit on the newsstand because that's the rarer copy of the two. There's 1 million copies of that one. There's probably 250,000 copies of the other one. Go after the other rare one if it's not too much of a price difference. Yeah, he's coming to the movie, and if people really dig him...
We know he's coming for sure. Yeah, he was the teaser at the end of the last one.
Right. But how is he coming? Is he coming hard? Is he coming soft? You got to come hard. Anyways,
or don't come at all.
Yeah, I would say this is a buy because it's pretty much guaranteed money as long as he doesn't die in the movie.
It's one of those weird books too, where like the '90s books that are like shiny, that are kind of good, are like worth a lot in a 9/8 because you can't press them, but everything else they're not worth as much. So if you can't get a 9/8, that's the meal ticket right there.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the meal ticket, we also have Feast for you, and that's Amazing Spider-Man 546 from 2008, and this is Steve McNiven and Dan Slott working on ASM at this time period, and this is his first full appearance of Mr. Negative. Don't forget, we got his cameo in the free comic book day one that came out earlier that year, and it's also first appearance of Jackpot, who's another cool character, but this book's just cool. Like, Mr. Negative has a lot of great spec, like around this character, as well as, he was a huge villain in the Spider-Man video game, which I think garnished him his original, like, oomph, where everyone's like, oh, this guy's actually pretty cool. Because he shows up in the comics and was like, okay, new villain. Spider-Man always has new villains, but they use him in the Spider-Man video game right off the bat. And everyone's like, people playing video games, they like how that goes. And then in Spider-Man No Way Home, they transport the villains in the Feast truck, which is the company that Mr. Negative owns, where they used to like kind of donate food to the hungry, but I think they have nefarious reasons surrounding that sort of thing. So that's some likely going on. There's a lot of spec that he could be one of the villains in Into the Spider-Verse. Two, I know they've already used, the spot has already been confirmed for the first movie, but it is a 2 connecting movie series, so he could be the major one for this. And I think overall, like, Mr. Negative is a really cool character. Like, for me, when Spider-Man's best villains, I think, have to do with, like, the mob or the mafia or someone that, like, outsmarts him. Might not necessarily be more powerful than him, but Spider-Man has to use, like, his brain to, like, overcome these villains. Whereas, some of the characters he just has to get into a street brawl with. And, it's kind of one and done. But it's all about, like, the intelligence level. I think it's a lot more fun. They could go a long way with that. And something to be on the lookout for. There's a newsstand version of this book because it did come out in 2008, so there's still a newsstand copy, which garnishes more value. And if you didn't know, there's a very rare book market variant that has a not for resale on the bottom. Has the same cover as the regular. That's over $400 for that book. So keep an eye out. If you see that cover and it says not for resale, grab that one real quick and run out the closest exit where no one sees you, right? And Zach, what's the numbers on this bad boy? On that Mr. Negative? Has he gone negative?
Yes, he has. Price of $0 was $250 for 9.8. Price is now $79.
Dang!
Range $79 to $279.99. Average is $173.75. I would say this is a buy. Great character to potentially do a villain for. A great character to have a villain in a movie. He has his crew. He's kind of BA. I mean, got a little bit of history. I'm thinking actually it's going to be that other character. I think it was like Amazing Spider-Man number 40. The guy that hunts down all the Spider.
Moreland?
Moreland. I think it might be Moreland.
It'd be interesting to see how, because he doesn't quite tie in with the Spot yet. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, because the Spot is really closely related to Kingpin in the comic. But I mean, they could do anything. Anything could go.
Anything could happen. Even a dog and a puppy, and they become a villain, and they go off and try to kill all the spider people. Why not?
Mm-hmm. I hope it's Moreland too, though. I hope it's him. But they could even do number 3. Could even lead up to him. He could be like the ultimate.
The ultimate villain, like the villain behind the villain. All right, I would say it's a buy, and it's a decent buy. $79 for a cool Spider-Man key. I mean, look out for that.
I wouldn't be mad at a nice key for $79.
Honestly, it's a great character. It's a cool cover, and $79 for 9.8. That has a lot of potential. I think that might be the buy of the day right there.
What's your overall pick? You're thinking
I would probably say this is a hard one. Overall pick. I would say the Spider-Man India would probably be the overall pick. I mean, if you got the 300, but the deal of the day, $79 for the first, whatever his name is, Mr. Negative. Even though it's conflicting with the free comic book day one a little bit, I would say, I would probably say the buy of the day would be ASM 546, but the overall pick would probably be Spider-Man India, even though it's not really his first appearance. But I think it probably has the most amount of gains. I could see that book.
Those legs.
And it's a darker cover, so it's higher to get in a 9.8. So I could see that being triple the value it is right now.
Ooh. All right, guys. That's going to wrap up the drop list for this week in December. And if you like hearing the drop list as much as we like delivering it to you, all you got to do is a little click the like button. Then you got to click the subscribe button. Then you got to hit the notification bell so you always know when we're coming on to hang out with you. And then leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about these, potential books for Into the Spider-Verse 2. And let us know if there's any other books you were thinking about as well, or anything that pertains to that sort of thing. How that works out. That kind of good stuff. And Zach, you got anything else?
Yeah, you got sure. How you do that is you have to try being in the fine arts, right? But you have to also pick a great subject, the finest subject. art subject. You have to do comic art. And ideally, the finest of the fine is do comic art as us. I want to see them. Send it. If you're an artist, draw a picture of all three of us in a general audience kind of thing. Don't do anything weird, guys. And that's how you get those gains. And we'll show it on a show.
All right. All right, guys. Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Get those gains. Get those artist gains. Don't ever stop